Hello everybody, welcome to Bitcoin Daily, 9 a.m. Central European Time on the dollar. We do the show every day, Monday to Friday, because we gotta know what's happening in Bitcoin, altcoins and everything else. And as you will see, guys, I got some bad news for you. Unfortunately, bad news, short-term bad news. There is always, we are in 2024, so it's always good news until 2025. The halving is not here yet. I think we got almost give or take less than 3 months, because the halving is on 17th April, so it's just a couple of days, less than 3 months. So 3 months give or take until halving. After that it's up only until the bull market up, so long term, we are good. The only thing we want to know now is how much down. And as we've seen previously, I've been overly bullish here at the top. It's really easy to be bullish. You got a dip on altcoins by 30%. We should definitely pump soon. So, and I'm saying that everybody wants the dip, but maybe everybody's gonna get the dip. But the question is, who will buy the dip? I will buy the dip. Will you buy the dip? Will the next guy buy the dip? Who's gonna buy the dip? That's the big question, guys. 16 people here, 6 likes. I hope you're doing well. Ron Adopter, morning, how you doing, man? Patch watches, let's go. Good morning, how you doing, man? TA fan stop. So where are we gonna start? We're gonna start on the weekly time frame up here on Bitcoin, and as you will see right now, unfortunately, we got this doji here at the bottom, but unfortunately, there is a very nice line over here. Goes something like this, and it looks like we are below the line. So on the weekly time frame, it looks like we are breaking this box here at the top, and right now we are going towards the downside. So this dip over here right now, looking to get into a little bit acceleration towards the downside, and if that happens, we might be looking to find some kind of bottom, because we are not actually looking to fall down. The only thing we want to try to figure out is where the bottom is, right? How much we're gonna have pullback, where we're gonna buy again, and stuff like that, right? That's the only thing we want to figure out. And right now, this line up here, give or take, it looks like it's broken. We can go down here to the daily time frame. It goes something like this over here, give or take, and it looks like it's broken. I mean, it's really hard to draw it any kind of other way. Maybe if you draw it something like this up here, you are still holding the line and you are at some kind of bottom over here because of this big week. But over here on the weekly time frame, stuff like that, 2 day, 3 days time frame, stuff like that, because you got a lot of touches on this line, so it does seems to be legit. Right now we are breaking that towards downside. So how much towards downside do we have? Where is the bottom on this move over here? If you look at something like this, just this last part up here, it might be something like 6-7% towards downside over here, 37, 38k, something like that. And you will see also that if that happens, altcoins are gonna drop down by 10 to 20%, give or take. We're gonna go into altcoins in a little while. But right now, will this dip actually happen or not over here? That's the big question, because there is good probability that we only do the box. And if you don't know what the box is, it goes something like that. You break major support level like over here, you get into the box, there is a box over here, and then you go right back up again, right? So you don't have to break actually below something like 40k. You can just, zigzag inside the box up here, and then without actually breaking towards downside, you just go towards the upside again out here. So I'm looking to see if this box is, if there is anything to be had from this box. And you can see up here, we are still in the box over here, and we are not dumping. I mean, yes, we are slowly moving into the box over here and zigzagging over here, but we're gonna see if we actually break the box towards downside over here. Regardless, whether that is the box, whether that is the dip, whether there is any kind of move down over here, eventually everything goes towards the upside. So we just want to know where the next level of supports are. If you look at the moving averages up here right now, we are breaking also below the 10 moving average. The weekly actually managed to close above the 10 moving average, but if you zoom in a little bit on the chart over here, you'll see that we actually closed, opened below the 10 moving average over here. We opened below the 10 moving average up here. Even though we closed above it, we opened below. That's always a better sign, so we are looking for the downside. The next moving average down here is at 36.5 or something like that, but in a week or 2 times it's gonna climb up here a little bit. So if this dumps down here, it could be something like 38k by the time we hit the 20 moving average on the downside. And the 20 moving average on the weekly time frame is important. So as you can see, we are still looking for the moves down, but I wouldn't say that, you know, down here 2050 moving average around 30k that we are gonna for whatever reason break that. Could we go all the way down to 30k? I mean, we can do anything. There is nothing that says that you cannot, you know, go down to 30k, but it seems a little bit unreasonable to go all the way towards downside towards 200 moving average and 50 moving average on the weekly time frame, because these are big time frames. If you look at a monthly time frame up here, you know, you could go down all the way down, because, you know, this is over here is the 10 moving average, this is the 50, this is the 20 moving average right now, and you know, in a couple of months time, you know, you could definitely get to these kind of levels. But if you just pulls a little bit back towards over here, waiting for a moving averages up here, and then just consolidates and goes towards the upside again, I mean, that could be the case as well, right? But I just my kid screaming for mom. You know, this is over here is 24% pullback down to 30k levels. Why is she screaming so much? I think she's done. So that's like 25% pullback towards downside over here. I don't think we're gonna have to, you know, that kind of luxury to get you know, buy cheap Bitcoin again at 30k. It might be the case, because I'm gonna show you the case for 30k Bitcoin. If you remember, we had on the, let's go to monthly time frame over here. We have this, you know, very nice lines, this channel towards upside that was created in the previous bull market. So, you know, our target for this bull market up here in 2025 is something like, you know, 90k, give or take, right? So this very first move up here towards the upside up here was, you know, 200%. So if you do in fact move down to 30k and go to 90k, that's gonna be another 200 you know, percent move. So, you know, 2 times 200% moves, and that is, you know, probable and likely, you know, because these axes, they do move in fact by the axis. And you know, 200% one time, 200% two times, and then you come to some kind of bull market top. I mean, it is probable. I'm not gonna say, you know, we're not gonna get down to 30k. You could get down to 30k, but I really don't see why we should go down to 30k. Tell you the truth, I don't see why we should go down to 30k. I mean, technically, you know, over here there is liquidity zone down here below, what's that, below 40k. There is liquidity zone. There is another liquidity zone down here below these levels over here on the bottom, where is the last week down here, over here. So, you know, if you go below everything down there, you know, you can pick up a whole bunch of liquidity before the next move towards the upside. So you could do that. But will we do that? We don't know. We don't know, and that's a long way down. So, you know, we take one step at a time. The first thing, the only thing we know right now is that this looks broken. Like this over here is broken. This over here is broken. This is the last line that we have, and the big, you know, if you take entire thing into consideration over here right now, and use the, you know, wicks up here, you know, technically speaking, you know, we could say that, you know, we are still in the channel, right? We are still on the channel. If you use some of the wicks up here, some clarice up here, it looks like it's broken, and this one actually looks a lot more legit than the other one, right? Because over here you just only, you know, you only have like 2 wicks down here. If you use this one up here, maybe you are you're on the dollar. But if you use these over here, some clarice, I mean, it does look very nice, right? It looks very nice. Maybe even up here. Where is it? Something like this, give or take. It should actually be over here below this. Below this one, something like this over here, right? It looks like you're below that. And then if you double this you know, channel towards downside over here, it looks like, you know, it might be something like 37.5. So there is a lot of confluence up here around 38k levels on the downside. Double channels, there are moving averages down here on the weekly time frame, right? The 200 moving average up here, once starts moving a little bit towards the upside. And there is a good chance that we might hit. So I would say that on the first move towards downside, if there is going to be a dip, that's going to be around 38k levels if we get the dip. If the box doesn't play out over here, then the 38k levels does seem reasonable. There is another you know, liquidity chart that we drew up here, and this was the range box we are arranging. You can see up here these bottom wicks. We're still not below the bottom wicks up from 40.2 levels up here, right? There is a 40.2 levels. We are not still into this liquidity box, so I think if we want to get these people out, I think we need to go below 40.2, and that's below 40.2 all the way down to these support levels. That's again around 30k levels. So this is the first liquidity box. So I'm wondering whether we're gonna dip inside the liquidity box and then try to break out, and then if this breakout fails, then we go below this liquidity box, we go into the next liquidity box that's around 30k levels, and then go again towards downside. Although I do not believe that this last part is very likely, and I'm going to show you why. I do believe right now that there is a good chance that we might hit 38k levels, right? 38k levels. So over here I'm going to go to the weekly time frame, and we're gonna pop some indicators up here. I'm gonna show you that if we go toward, if this is up, some kind of parabolic move towards the upside, if we just continue going over here towards the upside up here, we should not be breaking any kind of trend. So we can get dip over here down to 30k levels, and the trend will still be some kind of attack towards the upside over here. What you're gonna see up here is these 50 levels that are very, very important. So on the RSI, once it starts pulling back, especially in the bull markets up here, let's go to another chart where we have full data up here. Especially in the bull markets up here, right? This is a bull market over here. Let's go to logarithmic chart so we can see this nicer. Especially in the bull markets, the RSI doesn't drop below something, give or take something like 50 levels, right? So over here, ever since we started going towards upside, we are hitting these 50 levels, but we didn't dropping towards 50 levels. On this move up here, beside the corona dump up here, once we came up here towards upside, you can see up here how nicely we were holding these 50 levels up here. Especially this last part up here started on the 50 levels. So right now we are a little bit extended, we are pulling back, but right now we are sitting at 64 levels. So this move down to something like 54 levels, 50 levels again, like over here, that might actually happen. So if we do in fact pull down to 38k level, I will be looking how far did the RSI pull back on the weekly time frame. So I'm looking at this 50k level, 54k level down here on the downside over here, give or take, to see how much we pull back. So if this price right now, what is 38k level up here? 38k level. If you pull down to 38k level without this RSI going all the way down to 50k level, then we might say that maybe just maybe there is a probability to pull all the way down to something like 30k levels or some other levels in between those levels over here, where we pull down on the RSI. But if you do in fact start going towards downside, I'll be looking at RSI, and I'll be looking to time it on the 54k levels. Now 54k level on the RSI doesn't say much or anything like that. It's just one of these indications that might indicate that you are some kind of bottom, because if this is a move towards upside, you should not be going back down to 30k levels. There is no such thing as 30k levels in the bull market, right? So this over here, the highest up here was something like 40k levels, and you can see up here even this dip down here came something like 44k levels. But I don't think that right now we should be coming to those levels down again. If we do actually come down, then something is very, very wrong and should not happen. So we should definitely start doing zigzag pattern up here at the top and start pulling back towards 2025 bull market top eventually. On the monthly time frame looks very, very nice. Doesn't matter how you look at the chart and indicator stuff like that. We are not overextended. We just came above the 50k levels. This is just the first move up above the 50k levels up here on the RSI. The momentum just crossed the zero line towards the upside. Up here there's no overextensions or anything like that. Right now pulling a little bit back towards the downside. So we are resetting indicators. We are pulling back, but the monthly chart looks very strongly bullish. There is nothing that's wrong with the chart. There are no overextensions, there are no big explosions towards the upside. There is no RSI topping up here at the top. Even this up here slight moves towards the upside up here right now, hitting those levels. So right now a pullback or something like that might happen. Yes, I was overly bullish earlier, and I'm still overly bullish, and I still don't want to believe that we're gonna dip down. It might happen though, because right now we are actually breaking towards downside over here on the downside on the chart, and this line up here is actually getting, you know, smacked towards the downside. Altcoins are also reacting badly to the price. Bitcoin is down minus 1.5%. Altcoins are down like 2-3% or something like that, give or take. Some altcoins are in green, but most altcoins are down, which does in fact seem to be, you know, legit move towards the downside. So there is that. But let's look at altcoins a little bit, and I'm going to show you what I mean over here. I'm going to just remove it. This is, for example, Algo. Algo has also this move towards downside. Like we said last time, like a lot of altcoins had this, you know, big giant move, like 100%, 200%, 500%, stuff like that. And everything is down, give or take, like 30% towards downside. Right now it's down 35%. Can it move in more towards downside? Definitely can. There is right now this very nice channel that's going on over here, give or take. Something like this over here, and you know, you can see down here that if you know, Bitcoin drops, this might actually drop you know, another 10% towards downside. But this goes for any kind of altcoin right now, because right now it is in this you know, some kind of channel up here at the top. Where is it? Over here, this one. Where is it? Let's go to 2-week time frame up here. Give or take. Yeah, so if you look at just this last part, I mean, if it starts dumping, like it can dump like 10, 15, 20%, like different altcoins can dump different amounts towards downside, but it definitely seems like, you know, a very reasonable thing to assume if, you know, Bitcoin should dump down, that these moves can actually happen on altcoins. And that means, you know, something like, yeah, 10 to 15% more towards downside for altcoins, if that does in effect happen. If you look at a weekly time frame up here, also this, you know, 10% move downs, because right now, you know, we are just breaking these 10 moving averages, could actually get us all the way down to, you know, 15 and 20 moving averages on altcoins on the weekly time frame up here, right? So these moves down can actually push you a little bit back towards downside. Phantom up here, you know, can go a little bit more towards downside up here towards the moving averages. That's again something like, you know, 10 12% towards downside. But the way I see it, it is the buy the dip event, right? So this is down 37%. Can it go down to 46%? I mean, 10% give or take, right? It can go a little bit more towards downside. You can see up here, Phantom up here, this logarithmic chart. Let's turn it off. Logarithmic chart, technically it is not out of the accumulation zone, right? So Phantom is technically still accumulating, right? It had this move down up here, broke up here towards outside, created this double bottom up here, broke towards upside. So people are right now, I think they are believing that, you know, it's gonna go for the third time down here at, you know, 16, and it's gonna go after that towards upside. But the way I see it right now, it is time to, you know, consolidate up here on the moving averages, and then, you know, break eventually out of the zone and towards the upside. Kaspa is a little bit, you know, different beast up here, but even Kaspa up here after this major move towards the upside up here, what was that, like 3x 4x move towards the upside right now, is pulling a little bit back, right? And even, you know, just tapping this 20 moving average on the weekly time frame, that's something like, you know, 11% towards the downside. I don't think there is much downside on altcoins. I mean, they are already down from the top. They're already, like, this was 50% down, but most altcoins are down like 30-40% towards downside from the top. So all altcoins already had a pullback, right? This is Solana, right? Solana went you know, to 126, and right now it's you know, already a pullback of 30% towards downside, right? So, you know, is gonna have another you know, pullback down here to 20 moving average, another 10-20% towards downside. It is probable, but, you know, it's nothing that I actually worry about or anything like that. Like I said, I do wish that we dip a little bit more on altcoins, because I want to buy cheap altcoins. I want to buy cheap altcoins, but I'm not worried that, you know, this is for whatever reason some kind of, you know, top or anything like that up here, right? So if this pulls back, might be some kind of, you know, midline over here at 38k. I mean, I've been seeing this 38k level a lot, right? So I'm looking at 38k level. If you do pull back, there is 10 moving average, there's this dip up here, there's probably some line, a very nice line over here as well, that might get us even below that into the lows over here. Let me try to draw the line a little bit better up here, because these weeks up here are, you know, I always forget about the weeks up here. Something like this, right? You got a nice line up here. That's at something like 36k levels over here towards downside, 20 moving average, give or take. And on Bitcoin, that's again that's like 10% of Bitcoin as well. So if Bitcoin dumps down 10%, assume like, you know, altcoins are gonna go down 20%, stuff like that, right? We can look at crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum up here, and you'll see that we're on a move towards upside. You can see how previously up here, when we started this move towards the upside up here, there has been pullbacks, you know, but you know, the crypto total market cap without Bitcoin, Ethereum was just climbing towards the upside. And right now, I think that we are in the same kind of, you know, idea towards the upside up here. Yes, we're having this pullback, but you know, it will eventually just consolidate up here and continue towards the upside, right? So I think right now, and total crypto market cap is out of the accumulation box, right? So this top wick up here on the chart, after this capitulation phase up here, you know, it created this, you know, downtrending channel over here. The downtrending channel is broken. The top high up here is broken. Right now it's breaking a binary. So right now we are just in this very first accumulation, consolidation zone up here before the next move towards the upside. Now again, my bank account is having a pullback, but I'm bullish it's gonna recover next week. That's good. But I do believe that, you know, this is just the first pullback, and in retrospect, when we are in 2025 and we look back on start of 2024, and people look like any kind of altcoin, right? Doesn't matter what kind of altcoin, you know, XMR, I don't know what this is, right? And they look at let's find something nice up here, maybe one. Let me look at the chart up here. Yeah, so people will be looking at charts like this over here, or you know, they'll be looking at this pullback up. This thing is actually still in a accumulation zone over here. This is Harmony 1, but they will be looking at this very pullback over here, and you know, believing that for a reason this was supposed to go down. It can do this. I'm not saying it cannot do that, but it's very good chance that you know this just, you know, dips up here, you know, continues and then, you know, breaks towards the upside over here, and then we will be looking back at these times like, wow, man, why didn't I buy the dip? Because it's always the case. People are very afraid to buy the red candles. You know, stuff goes down like 10, 20, 30%, they think it's over. You know, everybody's talking about how they're shorting the 46k levels. So people are a little bit fear, I think. Although I still believe that, you know, if we go towards upside, that's where the max pain is. I might be wrong on that, but I think if you go towards upside, that's where it makes pain it, because I don't see pain on the downside. Like for me, there is zero pain on the downside. So maybe I'm a little bit too biased when it comes to that. To me, there is zero pain towards the downside. If you go down, I buy more, and then I wait, and then 2025 cash out. If we buy towards the upside, then I have to FOMO in, right? So I think there is more, you know, pain towards the upside. I think there is more pain towards the upside. DXY right now, you know, it broke this downtrend over here. It's trying to climb above the moving average. This is a weekly time frame up here. Where is the lines up here? So this trend over here kind of got broken towards the upside, and there is also this very nice, you know, topping top line up here that's still not broken, but I think it might go a little bit higher over here. Maybe that is gonna be the pullback on Bitcoin. While this DXY is going a little bit higher, you know, Bitcoin goes down and then, you know, crashes towards downside, and Bitcoin explodes, and then, you know, does this move while Bitcoin pull back, and then, you know, does big move down. Something like that. I don't know, but you know, these are two important levels, right? The resistance level up here, this expanding musical instrument over here. The expanding musical instrument can actually be is actually a channel, but it can actually be let's put like this over here, and then double that over here towards up. So right now it's actually coming to the target of that move up here. So it might already, you know, start dropping over here towards downside, unless it breaks up again. Another move up here towards the resistance level. We're not going to analyze too much DXY, but it is definitely broken out of the first channel up here. Right, so it had this first channel, it's already broken towards downside. And every time this thing, you know, breaks out of the channel, it does move into the opposite direction for a, you know, considerable period of time. Here towards the upside over here, this was a very big move, right? And right now it went sideways over here, broke that, right now create this channel towards downside, right now broken that, and it does that for considerable, you know, period of time. So you're gonna see how much this actually goes towards the upside. dominance, Bitcoin dominance is on the downside over here. It's consolidating a little bit, but to me dominance looks like it's already broken. So I think you know, Bitcoin has done what Bitcoin's supposed to do. It got everybody bullish, and right now it's time for altcoins and Ethereum to take over. It's just a matter of time, the way I see it, because there were two trends over here. The first trend was this over here, when it was just exploding towards the upside, came up here towards the upside over here at the top. You'll see the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame over here. You'll see the 200 moving average on the weekly time frame over here. It came up to that, consider up here, broke that towards the upside, had this, you know, triple top up here. Broke the trend over here, so this fast trend towards upside, that's broken. So right now it's going this kind of sideways motion up here, and you'll see up here after this triple tops up here, it did this big move, fast move below the support level outside of the channel towards the downside up here. It's still holding the 200 moving average, but I think the dominance is pretty much done. So the next move is for Ethereum and altcoins, I think, and right now we are only waiting. Again, 3 months until the halvening. And after that, 2025 is the big kahuna, the big move towards the upside. So, you know, we just have to wait and see what's going to happen there. But it does look good. Ethereum as well, you know, came to the target up here at 26, 28. Unfortunately, it's not doing much now. But, you know, it's still buy the dip kind of events, guys. It's still buy the dip. You know, you do not buy the dips in... you do not buy the dips in the bear market. You dollar cost average dips in the accumulation zone at the bottom, and on the move towards upside, I mean, the dips are in fact the buy the dip events. So, you know, as long as we got the dips, we are good, guys. As long as we got dips, we are good. You know, there are definitely gods smiling down on us and then, you know, giving us a second chance at life, you know, and saying that, you know, okay, you are getting a dip. I didn't think we are still above 40k, and the reason I don't believe that we should go towards the downside into the 38k, although it does look very probable right now, because we are starting breaking down, the week, you know, stuff is weakening a little bit and stuff like that, right? The reason I don't think we should go down is because if we do go down, like I said, we literally give everybody second chance to buy, to buy in, right? So everybody who you know, didn't buy, who wanted to buy, everybody who was waiting and listening to Capo and Crypto Savvy, you know, will get the chance to buy. And I don't think, you know, if that's good for the price or not, right? I think that we should, you know, over here above the 40k, I don't think we should dip below 30. I don't think we should dip below the 40k levels. Before, if we dip below 40k levels, I know a lot of people are gonna die, me included. That said, if you don't dip below 40k levels and we just consolidate up here into the box that, you know, one of the tiers up here, and just continue going towards the upside up here, there will be so much foam up here towards the top. I mean, that's gonna be insane, right? So I assume we just get some kind of, you know, consolidation up here and go all the way until the, you know, in the next 2-3 months, all the way up to, you know, something like actually up here, the 60k levels over here, 60k levels up here towards the upside. I mean, that's gonna wreck so many people, and then you do a pullback. You know, after the halvening, everybody think this is gonna go up. On the halvening, you do a pullback, and then after the halvening, the pullback, when people get afraid and think, oh, this time is different, then you go, you know, another move towards the upside, towards 90k. So, how things are gonna play out depends. But I'm not bearish. I mean, how can you be bearish in a bull market? How can you be bearish in a bull market? When you're in the bear market, I mean, every single pump is bearish. Every single move down, you know, you're thinking it's gonna go, you know, this is gonna be it, this is gonna be it. Eventually it is that, because it is bear market, right? But right now, I mean, it's really hard, especially once this first phase up here. So over here there's accumulation up here, you know, this is the, you know, markup, this is the first move towards the upside up here. I mean, it's really hard to believe that, you know, for whatever reason we are gonna go down. So there is no, I mean, if you ask anybody, everybody's gonna say there is no 15k coming again. There is no 15k again. 20k, very unlikely. 30k, like, there is chance for that, and then maybe you get to see 30k again. 35, you know, give or take. I mean, the dips do happen, right? But you know, 15k, 20k, nobody's talking about that. That's gone right now, right? So if you want to talk about 15k again, first we need retail and mainstream to buy in, to buy, you know, our bags at the top, and then after that we can talk about 15k again. So the only discussion here right now, and everybody else is having, is how much down. Where do I buy at? Do I buy at 40k? Do I buy at 38k? Do I buy down here at, you know, 34k below these levels over here on the 200 moving average? Where do I buy the dip? Where is the dip gonna be bought, right? And the way I see it right now, I still believe that because nothing is set in stone up here, that this, you know, box up here that might just happen above the 40k is the buy the dip event already, right? Because if you look at altcoins, and we just looked at altcoins, they're now like 30 to 40% already. 30-40% dip on altcoins is good. Yes, I do know that they went up very, very strongly over here. Let's just take any chart. This is AVX. AVX went up like 5x, right? And it only pulled, you know, 40%. Oh my god, it went up 465%, but it's only pulled back 40%. No. Pullback of 40% means it only went up 262%. So it pulled back, technically, something like, you know, 200%. It pulled back 200%. Yeah, up here is at 460, over here is 260, right? It pulled back 200%. It didn't pull back 40%, it pulled back 200%. This is new kind of math, but it pulled back 200%, okay? It pulled back 200%. So, it is down by 40%, but these are big pullbacks, guys. These are very, very big pullbacks. So, 40% pullback on a, you know, starter move into the, you know, bull market rally up here at the top. I mean, these are juicy dips. These are very, very juicy dips. Especially now that everything is bullish. Especially now that everything is bullish. This is in 2000. This is bull market 2021. No, this bull market 21. This is just before that. So this over here had actually had a big move up, 20x up move, then went down to 200% move. So this actually pulled back 180%, 1800% pullback up here towards downside. But how much was the dip over here? From the very top is up here all the way to the bottom was 80% dip. So the dip another 80%. But the halvening over here was well, let's pull the halvening chart up here. Halvening events. Where is the halvening event? So why is it not on this chart over here? Is this after what? Wait, BTC USDT chart, new price scale. Sorry, this is the bull market up here. This bull market up here. So the halvening is all the way back down there. I mistook my. So this is before the, you know, first move. This actually did first 20. This thing did, IVX did 20x on the first pump, and then did another. What is this? Look like 15x or something like that. Yeah, 15x on another pump towards the upside. So it did 2 pumps towards the upside over here. But this was the very first move. It was just bleeding up here. The halvening was somewhere over here. It was just bleeding after halvening until it actually started pumping. And there is this thing also over here. When Bitcoin starts doing this last pump towards the upside, there will be altcoins doing these channels, right? Very clear channels. But once they're out of the channels and you will see majestic, you know, moves, it goes so fast, guys. It goes so fast. This on the daily time frame, this thing does, you know, 200-300% move after a breakout. So it breaks out and does 200. From the bottom down here is 5x, right? But just from the breakout up here, it's already like doing like 4x towards the upside. Then he had a pullback, and then he had another move towards the upside up here of you know, 6x or something like that, give or take, towards the upside. But we are not quite there yet. We are not quite there yet. The way I see it right now, this is only the very first move towards the upside. This is only very first move towards the upside. It's breaking as well above the resistance up here. So the pullback up here, how much of a pullback are we gonna get? Not much. I'm in good profit on ADA. Maybe I need to pull out more gains to reinvest. I don't know about that. I don't know about me. I can only say for me personally, you know, selling tops, buying bottoms and stuff like that, very sketchy thing to do. So, you know, you might, you know, gain some profits. You might wait for lower levels, you know. Or you can be just like me, just hodl. Just hodl. There is this song called Hodl. Hodl gang. Anyways, guys, thanks for stopping by. That's Bitcoin Daily today. I'm gonna keep on watching a little bit charts, but you know, we are already done. We are already done. Let me see this last part up here. How would we draw the... Maybe a little bit more down to some kind of 40k levels. Again, even this channel over here goes down to 40k levels. If you break that, there is gonna be a big dump, which might be, you know, the capitulation move down here. But even this channel over here doesn't look, because this is not a bear flag or anything like that. This is extortion pattern. A pulse move with extortion pattern towards the outside. The problem with the extortion pattern, there are no divergences on the chart, and momentum is actually just consolidating. But let me see the momentum up here. This is on the daily time frame up here. No, momentum is just going sideways up here, but there are no divergences on the RSI or anything like that. Right now, telling us that, you know, for whatever reason, that is, you know, it is going very nicely towards the downside up here, right? So there is no divergences up here, but this is you know, downtrending channel over here, which is an extortion pattern. So if you do break this on the downside, I would say, you know, on this breakout, there is first of all, the bottom should be on the bottom of the channel. The second, if you do break this towards the downside, there is good chance that's a capitulation type of event that actually might reverse us towards the upside. I'll keep you posted, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Debuting. How you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. Outro, guys. I'll see you around. Bye bye.